Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? I decided today that I would show you my Factorio world because I know that some of you love playing Factorio. Some of you play a lot of Factorio. Others have never heard of this game, so I thought I would take a look at it. I was thinking about doing another episode of Gold Rush. However, the problem with Gold Rush is that it's just a demo, and I've kind of covered everything on it already. So, first of all, I'll just sort of show you my trains. There is my nuclear setup that I got at the moment. I've got 10 nuclear reactors going on down there. This is my trains that I've got set up. I don't have a very big train network. I've only really just started experimenting with trains, so I don't know a great deal about them. This is the automated train system here, and all that happens here is I've got a load of miners up there, I've got a load of miners down there, and once all the mining drills have taken everything out, they put it onto the belts, it all comes here, and it all goes into these, into the chests there, and then that gets put straight into the trains. So this train will come on down here, and there's a signal there, and if the track is clear, then the train will carry on right through. The other train is over there. That train is now waiting just over there. I don't know if I've set it up right. Like I said, I don't know very much about how the trains work or anything like that, so I'm just kind of experimenting with it and playing around. This is my base. Now, normally with Factorio, you would put belts like this down, and if you've seen on the mining drills that I had set up there, you have a whole load of these belts. This is the fast belts. You get slower belts as well that you start off with, and you use those belts to build a massive, great big network of everything moving around, and that ordinarily that is what would happen. However, this time I decided that I was going to do something a little bit different. I wanted to have robots. This entire base is based around robots and nothing else. So this is what I've got at the moment. It's a completely beltless system, whereas where robots do everything. So I'm just sort of showing you. Those of you who've never played this game, this is just going to be a bewildering array of nothing that it's not going to really make much sense to you. I will sort of explain a few little things as I go along. I did do a series a long time ago, and I'll do a Let's Play series right from scratch, doing this again, but it's not going to happen today. A few things to note that is different to just a standard Let's Play on this one. If you take a look here, this is an assembling machine for electronic circuits. This is a very important sort of part of the game, is these electronic circuits. You use these for just about everything. And at the moment, I've just got productivity modules on everything all the way through. That's not necessarily the best way to do it, or at least not for the biggest amount of throughput. It's just the most efficient use of resources. And I'm not too worried about it being slow because I can always get, I can always put more down. I do everything with blueprints. Made hundreds and hundreds of blueprints. The thing to note about this is, with a standard game, you've got like set costs for everything, whereas in my version, I've done the expensive option. So if you have, this is the crafting. This is my inventory there. That's my logistics. You've got auto trash. My crafting recipes, if you have a look here, we've got 2 iron plates and 10 copper cables to make an electronic circuit. To make an iron gear wheel, you need 4 iron plates. Now, in the standard game, iron gear wheels are a lot cheaper. I think it's 1 iron plate for a gear wheel, and the electronic circuit, I think, is like 2 copper cable and 1 iron plate or something like that. I can't remember. In this one, it's expensive. I've selected expensive mode. It's very, very expensive for everything. I'm also playing on peaceful, so I don't have to worry about the alien biters coming along and attacking me all the time, because they're an absolute nuisance. And I don't really, for me, playing Factorio is not about constantly defending against the insects, the giant insects. For those of you who don't know Factorio, if you just play the game without any altered settings, you have these giant insects that attack you continuously, and you've got to build defenses around your base as you build your base. And the idea is to ultimately research this here, the rocket silo, and when you've researched that one, you've then got to make all of these other items, and you've got to build a rocket so that you can launch off the planet. So I've got this map here on peaceful. I've also got everything on expensive settings, and this is my lab setup at the moment. I will put some more of these in through to speed everything else up, but at the moment it seems to be going fairly well. Research is expensive as well, and this one here, this automation, is the very first one that you would get. You do this manually, you manually create the science packs so that you can make your very first one, and I think in a standard game that costs 10 science packs to make. It might even just be 5 science packs. I can't, no, it's 10 packs because I got it times 5. I set research values times 5 what they would normally be. So you had to make 50 science packs instead of just the normal 10 to be able to make that one. Everything else is times 5 as well. So the one I'm researching at the moment, I need 5,000 of each of these science packs in order to be able to do it. For those of you who don't know anything about the game, science packs is basically what you have. You make these science packs so that they can be used up during research in all of these labs. And you can unlock more technologies. So if I just come racing over here, and I'm hoping to sort of actually do something today as well. I've got a plan. I'm busy changing a part of the base. There's the red science packs. They need 1 copper plate and 1 gear wheel. So this factory here is busy making them. I've got 4 factories making those. I got factories making these here as well. This is a green science pack. That's the second round. You have an inserter and a transport belt. Then you have the blue science packs down here. They require an advanced circuit, an engine unit, and an electric mining drill. I'm playing on 0.15 for those of you who are familiar with the game and familiar with different aspects of it. You have the military pack. You need piercing rounds, you need grenades, and you need gun turrets. Some of you won't have actually played on 0.15 yet, so I'm just sort of showing you that as well. Electric engine units, assembling machines, electric furnaces for the production science pack, and then finally for the high-tech science pack you need a battery, 3 processing units, a speed module, and 30 copper cables. My processing units, I've got a setup up here for processing units. Here it is. And I've done this one is the modular system, and the only thing that I did make a mistake on here was I didn't need to have this second line. If I'd taken all of this and I'd moved it over, I could have used those beacons to power all of it, and I wouldn't have needed 2 lots. But I made a mistake when I did the blueprint, so I don't need. I'm not too worried about that now. It's already out. These have got level 3. Boosters on all of them. Level 3 modules. We've got level 3. Ooh. So yeah, sorry about that. We've got the science packs. We've got the production packs going. Production modules going on here. Processing units, I should say. They're being made there. And this here is the first oil system that I had. I've still got a few belts kicking around from the original startup for the base. I no longer really use this. I mean, it is producing still. It is sort of still useful. It's still producing. The rest of the base is now unrecognizable. The original base is completely different. The one thing that I found with having my resources so high on this map was that the traditional bottlenecks that you reach where you kind of got to wait around just for a little bit so that you can go on to the next bit, it was a lot longer. I had to sometimes I had to just sort of leave the game running for several hours while I was doing something else so that it would advance to the next stage. But I've now reached a point where I'm quite happy. I've got all my blueprints and everything going. So I've got over here, I've got, this is coal liquefaction, where you recycle heavy oil, you add in coal and steam, and that gives you more oil. You get heavy oil, you get light oil, and you get petroleum out of it. And I've got, this is the light oil processing here. It goes through these so that it can turn into, it goes through this and that turns it into petroleum, and then the petroleum is all being turned into plastic bars, and those are used elsewhere. See, I'm trying to just give you a quick rundown, but I know that there are people who've never played this game before, and you are utterly confused and lost about what I'm doing right here. There's the petrol tanks down there. Petrol gets turned into, well, at the moment, those are full. I've got masses of rocket fuel available. If you mouse over something like this, you can see on the right-hand side, I've got I got over 100k of copper ore, iron ore, and rocket fuel. or solid fuel, I should say. I've got a lot of other things. Some of them, there are some things that should be on that list that aren't. Copper plates and copper cables you can't see anywhere on there, and you can't see green circuits either, and those are kind of the bottlenecks for my base. Power is not a problem. I've got 10 nuclear power stations, and those are running really well. So if I just run down there, I'll just quickly show you the nuclear power, and then I'm actually going to get on with the little bit that I did want to do today. Now, when you go across the train track, you got to be careful. You've got to check on your map to make sure that there are no trains on their way, and there are no trains. I've got one loading up there, and I've got one unloading there. I can step across the track. You do not want to stand on the train track when the train comes through. It will kill you. I've got a load of water being extracted down here and over here. This is my setup for all of my nuclear power stations. I've got these being made here. I've got 28 uranium fuel cells being made there. I got that one is completely full. They got all the uranium fuel cells that they could possibly need. These chests will dump out the expended cells when they're used up. They get rid of them. I will research a bit where I can recycle those at some point, but I'm not going to worry about it just yet. So I've got all of these nuclear reactors, 10 of them. So that produces me a massive amount of power, none of which I'm using at the moment. Now, to start with, what I had here, let's just check for the trains. I can get across. This is all the turbines. These are the ones that actually produce. They take the steam that is made from the nuclear power and turn it into electricity. I had, right here, where I'm wandering around now, a massive setup that was using coal from here. It was all steam. Great big steam engines. I had hundreds of them all running. And in order to keep the beltless system running, and also because I just wanted to experiment with it, I had water being delivered into a factory that would unload the water and then put it into the steam engines. It kind of worked. It was a little bit experimental. I don't think I'd do it again. I think I would just have the water piped in direct. I think that would be a better way of doing it. But yeah. So this is my insane setup. And I've got, I just wanted to show you this. We've got loads of advanced circuits being made. I do have a little bit of a bottleneck on these at the moment. I've not got enough coming in. Why have you stopped? Why have you stopped? I've got plastic, I've got copper, and I've got electronic circuits. Have I got a... Makes why? Oh, I know why. Because I've got on here 25,000. I set them at a constant number. I forgot that I'd set them at a constant number. I've enabled just about every single factory that I've got has got a constant number on it. So, like, if you go here, I'm making these. I'm making the beacons, the transmitter beacons. And if you look here, I've set them at 1,000. So it'll make 1,000 of them, and then it won't make any more. Piercing rounds, 5,000, and I've set everything on a limit, except for I thought that I had. I didn't think that I'd limited the red production circuits. These here, the what are they? The advanced circuits. The green circuits, the plain green circuits, which are just electronic circuits. I don't have these limited. These are completely unlimited. But this is my setup for these. I have copper being pulled into these chests here that run straight into copper cable factories. And then I've got 3 inserters, so 2 running out of each of these going into 2 factories down below, and they've got iron coming in from the side. The big hold up on these is copper at the moment. We got is it a dearth? I think it's a dearth of copper. So that's kind of the big hold up on this. I am experimenting with putting some beacons and improving the models, improving the modules that I use on this to try and sort of speed it up a bit. I'm going to come back to that. I'm not too concerned about it at the moment. I did have one where I'd actually put in some beacons to sort of play around with it and see how it would work. And where did I put it? It's over here, yeah. See, I've got extra beacons going in here. I got speed 3 modules in the beacons, and it does make it all a lot faster, but I've still not got the copper coming in. But everything is on speed 3 and productivity 3, so in theory, that's kind of the new layout that I'll be using. That's all besides the point. We don't need to worry about that right now. The biggest thing that I've got at the moment is I've got a a problem with a lack of copper. And half the reason that I got a problem with lack of copper, I've got that field there is just about empty. Oh, the other thing, when I set this map up, I also set it up with extra resources. Now, if I just show you on the map, this is all the biters. There's hundreds of them around. They won't attack me unless I attack them first, and that is how I want it. So I got my trains coming out here. I got another train going up here. This ore field is nearly dead. But I have got extra ore field, and I've made them extra rich because I don't want to have to spend ages hunting for them. My enjoyment from this game is building a big factory. I want to build a massive factory with lots of stuff. So you look at these, I've got 11 million stone there, 12 million iron ore, 6.7, 13, 11. As you get further away from your base, the numbers actually increase. Now this is a lot higher. I've got very rich settings here. So I've got far more here than you would in just a standard game. And that's why, it's one of the reasons that I've got the increased resources. The massive amount of extra resources that are going to be needed to run this. The reason I did that is so that I could... It sort of balance out having all the extra resources around is by having to use a whole load extra. So what I'm doing is I'm in the process of changing these... furnaces. Now at the moment the furnaces have got productivity level 1 modules. Now I'm going to have productivity level 1 on just about everything for now because I don't have enough resources coming in to make enough productivity level 3s or level 3 on anything. So the change is where I'm switching it over to this so that I got speed beacons, which will drastically increase the speed that the furnaces will produce stuff. You see the speed that one was working, and then you look at this one, it's a lot slower on this one because it doesn't have the beacons on it. So what we're going to do is, I've already removed a whole load of them. I had a lot more of them down here. I want to start putting out some blueprints. Now I've made blueprints. This is my blueprint collection. Okay, I got loads of them. This is for just about everything. Transport belts, military sites, bullets, electric inserter, fast, mining drill. You get the idea. Okay, so I have got... everything I make for blueprints, and if you put a blueprint you can then repeat it really easily. So we've got iron, we've got copper with beacons. That is the setup that I want to use. I'm going to need... What I'd like to do is I actually want to remove now all of this. I'm going to leave those, but I want to remove all of these, and I'm going to remove those as well, and I'm going to kind of try and make this so that I can put as many copper producing as I possibly can, but leave enough room to put some extra iron. Probably the iron will go back down in the corner. So if we go here and I take the deconstruction planner and I go straight across here like that, see, we can remove some of the robots as well, the roboports. That'll go like that. I've got my own robots working, but I've also got all of my construction robots working as well. A lot of power has just gone off. If you look at the logistics on the side, the bottom of the information on the side there, it says electricity. Above that it says construction 0 of 685. That's how many construction bots I got flying around. Logistics, 6,900 of 10,000. I got 10,000 logistics robots, and they're the ones that carry all the items around on the map. At the moment we've got 3,000 parked up. We've got 7,000 parked up. There's 7,000 available, so 3,000 of them are flying. It's because we're getting rid of all of these furnaces. We're sort of dropping everything off. Once we move away from that, I'm going to need to put some power down so that these roboports up here have got some power. So if we put some... I'll do it like this. Run one down there. That'll join in. I'm going to end up having to move those around. So let me just... If I get the deconstruction planner a minute and deconstruct this lot all the way along there, we'll remove all of those, and then we can join electricity back to these roboports, and we'll be able to use those again. What was I saying? I can't remember now. And that will fill up. These are slowly moving away. So yeah, I have at one point or another all... You look there, it's not... Oh, it is showing you. 10,000 logistics robots. I have had every single one of those being used at one time or another, and when we start putting down our new furnaces, we'll start using a lot more of those robots, and it's absolutely fantastic. 10,000 robots flying around, and I'm not planning on stopping anytime soon. My base here, I'm hoping, is going to be an absolute monster of a mega base. It is going to be a huge mega base. I put too many down there, but that's alright. That doesn't really matter. It doesn't hurt to have extra ones down. It doesn't sort of affect the performance of it at all. It's just that they sometimes get in the way. That's all. It's the only reason that you would do that. So if I just lift these up a minute. There we go. And now I'm going to get rid of some more. I'm not going to get rid of everything, but I am going to get rid of all of these furnaces. We're going to remove all of the copper furnaces. So that can run through there. There's come back all of our construction robots. I'll tell you what I will do, though. Oh, no, they're running for me at the moment. I'm going to get rid of some of the construction. I normally run it so that I've got 50 construction robots on myself, and they run for me, and then the rest of them, they'll go elsewhere. Don't think I'll worry about that for a minute. Right, the roboports in the middle aren't doing a great deal. So we'll probably get rid of those as well. If I go like that, we get rid of all of the roboports in the middle. It'll clear everything away, and then we can start laying down the new ones. And when we start laying down the new ones with our, it's not the red circuit, it's that one there, the copper beacons, we're going to leave an area in the middle so that we can put lines of roboports. We're going to need lines of roboports, not just a few, we're going to need loads of them. And that's the one thing with this, is you do need a massive amount of roboports, because the roboports is what these robots, as they fly around, they've got to charge themselves up. And so there's one thing you've got to sort of keep in mind, is you've got to allow for them to be able to charge up. We can't put anything in our inventory at the moment because we're completely full. We've got to wait for the robots to come along and take all of this away. And the logistics robots aren't going to do that in a minute because I'm not close enough to one of those. So if I go there, I'll get a whole load of logistics robots come descend on me in a minute in a great big cloud. Here they come. Here they come. All of these up around here, they're coming swarming towards me. I love watching this. I do love just sort of watching everything unfold around me as I'm swarmed by thousands of robots. It's so cool. It's one of the things I genuinely love. This is why I wanted to set this up. Every sort of game that I've played of this so far, I've always done the traditional method with the belts. And then I did read somewhere about a beltless system. I thought that sounds awesome. Being able to run it completely beltless, you've got no belts anywhere. But in order to keep all the resources running, you've really it's hard to keep it running. It's hard to keep it going, and it's something I thought that sounds really cool. I would love to try that. So that is what I'm trying at the moment. Let's put those 15 up in there, so that we've only got 50 on us. Those last few bits of copper ore, just let them pick that up, and then they're away. Right, so now if you have a look here, we've got a big green splodge right in the middle. That green is where the logistics robots can't go. And one thing you've got to do is you've got to have orange everywhere, so we've got to get the roboports here in the middle. We've got to allow for that. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick these up. I'm not going any higher than this. Reason being, we've got an oil field here, and I will be using the oil field at some point. So first of all, I'm going to just do that. I will pick up those trees, and it's just getting rid of all of those electricity cables. And the other ones, they cannot insert raw wood. How much stuff have we got now? I got too much stuff. Put that down there and put that down there. If I come over here near to the roboports, it'll allow some of those items to get collected. I got 2 science packs. I don't know why I got those. And I'll get rid of a few of those because I don't need all of them. I got 5 roboports. Yeah, see, you can end up really sort of getting your getting completely choked up with all sorts of stuff. So what I want to do now is I'm going to run. It's got to be just under here because I'm going to want to open up that oil field and actually use it. So if I run in a straight line along there, that's going to be the top of it. Put that one there. That'll connect all of those up. Next, I want a line of roboports, and these roboports are going to go straight underneath there. I'll go right over this way. Let's move over. I've actually run out of time. and I still haven't done anything that I wanted to do. So if I run all the way along there, that was 15 roboports there. I have 5. Now, this is the other thing. Logistics, basically what it does is it sends an order to the whole network, and a robot will realize that I don't have 5 roboports on me, and so they'll rush off and they'll get me some. And that's what's happening now. I've just had some roboports delivered to me. I've got 5. So, because I normally only carry 5 on me, because I don't normally need more than 5 roboports. At the moment, I do want more, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to tweak that number, and I'm going to put that up to 10, so that I have 2 stacks. It's still probably not going to be enough, but I don't want to be carrying around more than 2 stacks of them at once. I think it'd be better to do it like this. So if I just have that one there, we'll worry about some more in a minute. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to start putting down our copper beacons. And basically all it is just the name that I've given to this particular setup that I've got here. So I'll run that there. I'll put it like that, I think. So I drop that one in, and my robots will go and put down a load of that, but they won't put down all of it. So the rest of it will be put down by the robots that are running around in the game. And then because I've made this as like a tile, I can put the next one right next to it like that. And that one will go flipping out like that as well. And it's also bringing... The way that I've set it up is that these chests here, they've already got a request built into them. They're requesting 200 copper ore. So as soon as everything is brought out and the copper ore goes in and the electricity is joined up, this whole system will be away. It'll all start up. So if I just drop in a one there and one there, it'll join up the edge of it. And now I've got copper started. That's already started. And yeah, everything else is going to go. The speed modules will be... These beacons will basically mean that will run faster. So this is what I've been sort of working on. This is what I do in my spare time. It's one of my favourite games, this is. I love playing this game. And this map that I've been working on it for quite a long time now. I'm particularly proud of this one. It's not the most efficient yet. It's definitely not the most efficient, and I don't have much in the way of rail. I still don't know anything about railways and how to run them in this game. Well, almost nothing. So I just kind of go on guesswork and trial and error, but I am slowly working my way through it. I'm going to move that roboport there. Get rid of that power line. If I move that one up and over like that, I'll get a... let's not worry about those for a minute. I want to put another line down here. Copper beacon, and that one can go there. There's just enough room for that one. There will be, the way these beacons work, for those of you who don't know, it sends out like a command to anything nearby. So if you put a module in this one, we're putting a speed module, this increases energy consumption by 50%, which is the cost. The reward increases the speed of production by 20%. So I got 2 of those. And what that means is, this furnace here, if you have a look at the yellow, everything in yellow, everything that's being touched by the yellow, it benefits from those modules. Now this one here, productivity, energy consumption increased by 40%, speed minus 15%, but productivity is 4%. The purple bar here, this purple bar, that is the productivity. Is basically every time that's filled up, we gain an extra result here. You gain an extra copper, in this case it's a copper plate. So we gain an additional copper plate each time that bar fills up. Now, if you go to productivity 3 modules, they're very expensive to make, but it increases the productivity by a long way. It goes up a lot more than it is right now. I can't remember what the exact figures are. So that one there is benefiting from those 2, but it's also benefiting from these 2, and these 2, and these 2, and these 2 over here. So this one furnace is gaining from 8 speed modules plus its own 2 productivity modules, and that's really quite important. It gained from 8 speed modules. Now I could actually make that gain further, but I don't think there would be any benefit to having any more speed modules working on one furnace. And if you look there, if you look on the side, it says number of effect sources 6, and that one says the same. It's actually it's benefiting from 4. It benefits from 4 of these. Each one does 1, 2, 3, and 4. Because I've got them slightly offset. If you don't have them offset, it only benefits from 3. So it gets 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 and 6, it counts those as 2 separate ones, and then it counts the beacon as 1, which is why it's saying number of effect sources 6, because it's got 2 for itself, plus it's got 4 beacons applying a result to it. So the crafting speed is 3 plus 50%, and the what else did it say? Productivity is 8%. But anyway, that I'm hoping that I kind of like touched on the basics of how to play this game, or sort of what I'm trying to accomplish with this game at least. I realise that it's kind of jumping in at the deep end. For people who've never played this game before, this is probably somewhat bewildering. But you have a look at all of this now. We have now got 8,000 logistics robots we're not actually using. If I bring this one down, I can put that all the way down there, and it'll fill up that gap. So what we'll do in a minute is, well, I'm going to do it now. I'm going to lay this out. Just before we go, if I put down another section, if you overlap it slightly, it actually results that you don't need to, I'm going to have to, I've got a power pole right there. It's in the way. If you overlap, all it'll do is, if it goes purple, it'll just basically say, oh, they're already there. We don't need to put any extras in. That's just fine. So if I run those all the way along here, like that, I can do 4 sections. I'm now benefiting quite a lot from, I'm having to use a lot less of the beacons. These right here, these beacons here, I'm having to use, because I can sort of use that beacon for both sides, it works out quite well. I'm hoping that you kind of following me here. I realise that for those of you who don't know anything about this game, don't know how to play this game, this is definitely going to be somewhat confusing. And I apologise for that. So now what I want to see is, where does this roboport go? Can I get a 3rd line of furnaces and everything in before I've got to introduce the roboport? It's very important that I make sure everything is covered by green. And I think I can. I think I can get a 3rd line of them in. So that's what I'm going to do now, is I'm going to go here for the copper beacon, and I'm going to do that. You will see that there is some blue marks now on some of these, and it's basically, they are waiting for the modules to be delivered. So, you know, the speed boosts that we have for them, they're waiting for them to be delivered, and it's quite likely they haven't even been made yet. So once they're made, over in the factories on the other side, if I press the map, so how do I get rid of those? I don't want pollution. No. Oh, I see. That's my electricity grid. I didn't even know you could do that. Right. Let's move that away. So I've got over here, if you have a look, this is where all my beacons are. Not my beacons. This is where all the factory is being built. And if we go all the way over here, I can't remember why. Oh, I know why. Basically, you've got to have radars put down so that you can sort of see everything clearly, and I don't have radars covering every part of my base. I will do that at some point, but it's not a priority for me because I don't generally need to look around with the maps. Over here, I have a section that is making these beacons. I got level 2s there, level 3s, and this is the level 1s here. These are going flat out at the moment. They're busy making the level 1s, but we don't have very many of them. If you have a look in these chests, you can see we've got 4 that are... Oh, hang on. 377? Okay, so we got plenty of those. They're on their way, is basically all we're waiting for. We're just waiting for some robots to bring them over. There's a couple more that need to go in there, but generally most of them are already on their way. Let's come out of the map. It might be because we don't have these down here yet. Now, if I put these roboports in next, that will cover everything in green. I can't put them down here. Ooh, can I? I tell you what, I might even be able to get another layer in before I put the roboports. Because of the way that it's set out, I don't want to have anything in green. Oh, no, I can't. I'm not going to have enough room. It's got to go all the way up there. So, that's basically... You can just sort of see the colour changing above one of the lines of beacons there. I don't know if you can see it or not, but I can definitely see it. So, I know that there is a minimum level of where they got to go, and there's not enough room, I don't think, to place them. So, I think that 3 layers... we got this 3 double layers. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines of furnaces there. Now I'll put in a line of roboports, and So I've got plenty of roboports. Is basically I just need plenty of space for the robots to be able to come in and recharge themselves. If they can't recharge, then we get into trouble. So if I run these all the way along here, of course my big problem, actually no, it's not going to be a problem, because the electricity there is actually going to power them, so I don't have any problems about power. All I got to do now is wait for a few extra roboports to come along. That one's going to have to come out. Actually, both of these will have to come out, because they're going to be in the way. But that's alright, because we are going to have masses of roboports going in a second anyway. We just bring that one over here. And there. So that's what I'm sort of working on at the moment. If I come back, I'd like to hear your opinions on what you think of this episode. Do you want me to do a bit more? Carry on working on my base? I don't know about starting something like this from scratch. If I did start another series from scratch doing this, it would take a very long time. Is there a way to find out how many hours that you've been playing on graphic sounds controls? I don't know if there's a way to find the number of hours that you've been playing already on a map. Yeah, you find your statistics. What do we got? We got, I suppose it might be in here. If I go to all, does it show it down here? 5.3k per minute. No. Right, well, it's not under there. 50 hours. Oh, it does show this, so I've got over 50 hours. It just doesn't have the rest of it. Alright, let's... What on? Blueprints, bonuses, tutorials, achievements, trains. No. How do you find out what you've done? I think maybe if we go here. 50 hours. I've been playing this map for over 50 hours. If you go to all, it just doesn't show you how many hours you've been doing. That's a little bit of a nuisance, that is. I can go 50 hours. It's definitely been longer than 50 hours. So I don't know how many hours I've been running this save game for. This save game has been running for quite some time. And why is that? Oh, it's because I got beacons there. I want my roboports back in that slot there. Yeah, it's... So I've done 50 hours on this map, right? I've done more than... Well, I've done more than 50 hours. I think I've done about 70 hours on this map so far. That is a long time to play a map, and it's also a long time for a Let's Play series. So I wouldn't really be able to start this one from scratch. I did do a series a long time ago now on Factorio, or I sort of started out with the basics. But if I was to do make this kind of a more regular feature, I would like to just continue on making my mega base here, rather than trying to do start a fresh one for everybody to watch. And I want to come down here. I want to make sure that I keep that set up exactly in line so that everything is lined up perfectly. There we go. I think that's lined up. Is that lined up? Yes, it is. Right, we come over here. And another one there. Another one there. And another one there. Right. That'll keep me going there. There's all my robots coming back. And oh, some of them are not just coming back. Some of them are putting out a whole load of extra bits and pieces. And they're charging. See, this is... I just love the way that you get these hordes of robots moving everywhere. We do just need to join up some power on here. So if you've enjoyed this episode, please head down below and give me a like, as usual. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. I would love to hear your opinions on what you think of Factorio. Is this a sort of game that would interest you? Is it a game that you've played yourselves? What do you think of the Beltless system that I'm trying to do on here? I really like looking at this, but when Senleia looks at this over my shoulder, she says it really messes with her eyes. She really doesn't like all these... Look now at the logistics. We've got 2,000 in, which means we've got just under 8,000 robots flying around, filling up all of the chests, taking stuff out and putting stuff away. That is fantastic. So, kind of the next thing that I'm going to want to work on. We've got steel being produced here. I might do a similar system with steel so that we can sort of up the production on that. I've just recently put in... Let me just move over this side. Where is it? There. I've got 2 copper ore fields here. And these I've put in with just miners and chests. So the robots will go and collect it and then run it back over to the furnaces. The next thing that I would be wanting to do is probably put mining drills all over that patch there, so that and we'll do exactly the same, so that the robots will just gather it from there and they'll run it straight over to these chests. And then I think that's pretty much it. There's one down there that we might use as well, and put that one in for the... Hang on, I'm just going to join the power up onto those roboports. There's too many of them. I got a lot of roboports there that aren't actually got power. So the one thing is, once you start moving stuff around, you end up losing power to other parts of the factory, and you don't actually intend to do it. Let's just run across there. Yeah, and then we're going to start using a lot more trains to start getting further afield to get some more of these resources, and we're also going to start building some weaponry so that we can fight off some of these bugs to uncover some other stuff. But that's all to come another time. Tomorrow is the next episode in Garala, and I've already uploaded my weekly questions and answers videos. So if there's any questions that you want to know, burning questions about the future of the channel, about me personally, anything like that, get over to the questions and answers video and put your question in the bottom, and I will do my best to answer it next week. Until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.